Welcome to episode 5 of the story of the Untold Protestant Reformation, where we are going over the Protestant Reformation and getting to the truth of the events that really happened. I would like to encourage anyone who hasn't watched the first 4 videos to go watch those, because some of the concepts and things that I talk about in this video do relate to the prior episodes. So, back to our story. We are in October now of 1517. Martin Luther, the head of theology at Wittenberg University, saw this pamphlet that got sent out throughout Germany regarding indulgences and the building of St. Peter's Basilica. And he has issues with it. He develops the 95 Thesis, 95 points criticizing the Pope's authority and the selling of indulgences. And he supposedly pins this on the cathedral door in Wittenberg. However, most of historians have debunked this as a myth. It's an embellishment, and there's several reasons why. I'll give you a couple. Number one, the vast majority of people could not read, so those going to Mass on All Saints' Day wouldn't have been able to read it anyway. Number two, Martin Luther is the head of theology at Wittenberg, so who is he challenging? Number three, there is no cathedral in Wittenberg. They fell under the Diocese of Brandenburg to the north. Number four, we do know he had it printed and sent a letter to Albrecht of Mainz. So was the extra act of defiance needed? Number four, he lived with all his co-professors, so if he was trying to challenge them, he could certainly do it at night or whenever he was around them. And number five, he would never challenge Frederick the Wise's authority, whose church he supposedly pinned the thesis on. And that action actually calls into question Frederick the Wise's credibility, because Frederick the Wise claims that he had a divine vision or a divine dream the night before of the pinning of the thesis, where an angel came to him and foretold the pinning of the 95 Thesis on the cathedral doors or the castle church doors. And this, whatever it was, this manuscript would open the eyes of the Christians. So if that act did not happen, what does that do to Frederick the Wise, who is celebrated as a saint in the Lutheran Church on May 5th? I do think it shows us that Frederick the Wise took part in this embellishment of the story. But anyway, let's move on. Remember when I told you one of the key points of indulgences was that it has to be issued by the Pope? Martin Luther's 95 Thesis went after the Pope's authority. Unlike all the other sermons or manuscripts or theses that were out there being distributed regarding indulgences. Keep in mind that Martin Luther is not new to indulgences. They've been around, as I said. This is not a new idea. What does seem to be new is that they were selling within his territory, and it seems Frederick the Wise did not like it. Let me add this. The letter that Martin Luther sent, which included the 95 Thesis, was sent to the Archbishop of Mainz. Remember, I just told you that Wittenberg fell under the Diocese of Brandenburg, which brings us back to the mystery and the intrigue. Did Martin Luther know that the indulgence campaign was helping to fund Albrecht's debts? Otherwise, why wouldn't you just send your gripes about indulgences to the Bishop of Brandenburg? Perhaps the pamphlet that did get sent out did list the Archbishop of Mainz as being the sponsor of the indulgence campaign. We have to at least consider the point that Martin Luther's newfound problem with indulgences. As I say newfound because they've been around. Martin Luther's been a priest and a monk for 10 years now. He was ordained in 1507. He's not new to the concept of indulgences. But when he wants to voice his opinion, he coincidentally is going against Frederick the Wise's rival. And let me give one more little tidbit of evidence for Martin Luther sending the letter to Archbishop Mainz. Johann Tetzel, the priest who's selling the indulgences, just graduated with his doctrine from Brandenburg, where Wittenberg falls under their diocese. And many historians want to say that Martin Luther had a problem with Johann Tetzel because he was a Dominican friar, and that the Dominican order did not see eye to eye with the Augustinian order. And I believe that from everything that I've read. That's probably true. They probably weren't very friendly towards one another. However, it does beg the question, why didn't Martin Luther send his 95 Thesis to the Brandenburg University, and again, or the Brandenburg bishop? Whatever the case, we know that Martin Luther, at this point in his life, has no intentions of breaking from the Catholic Church. His letter and his 95 Thesis are a cease and desist order to the Bishop of Mainz, as well as being a marketing piece for the Wittenberg University among the intellectual community. And let me just say, if you read the 95 Thesis or Martin Luther's letter before the 95 Thesis to Albrecht, he's extremely respectful and cordial towards, he is not bitter or harsh towards the bishop. And really, he's got valid criticisms. He's got valid gripes against indulgences. And again, he is not the only one. What he does, though, that's different from all the other people criticizing indulgences is he challenged the Pope and his authority. So the letter gets sent to Albrecht as well as being distributed or printed and distributed throughout Germany. Archbishop Albrecht won't receive the letter until late November of 1517, where he gives it to his theological advisors who tell him he needs to send it to Rome. In the next video, we'll discuss the events of 1518 after the 95 Thesis has been distributed throughout Germany and Europe, really. But I will end with this. If you have any comments, feel free to put them in the comments below. If you like this series, if you don't like this series, some of you may be thinking, oh, he only wants people to comment because it boosts his videos. Well, I'm not really motivated by the money of YouTube. I don't make any money. I've had this YouTube channel for almost 6 years, and I still don't even have 40 videos up. So money is not my motivation. If I only get 2 views in this video, I'm still gonna complete this story. So I will ask, what say you?